What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to an all-new episode of Review This with the Scene Snobs. I'm Mick Manhattan, and I'm back with another one. I am reviewing Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now, I have to admit, before I get into reviewing this, I am a die-hard Mission Impossible fan. I love every single movie in that franchise. It's just, they're all so much fun. They are, in my opinion, the perfect popcorn action type of movie. They Everything they exude is just really well done, really well told story all throughout. It connects, and in this one, to see that he brought back Kittredge after 30 years since the first movie. There's bringing back different characters. They're kind of retconning a few things, but I really dug it how they played it out. They're going back to the past and the beginning and Ethan Hunt's beginning and what sort of caused him to be in the IMF in the first place. And then all the way throughout, this is the seventh movie in this franchise. And it's part one of a two-parter. And I believe this is the end. From everything I have been told, this is like it. They're not doing anymore. Mission Impossibles with Tom Cruise in this manner anymore. I kind of hope they keep going, but if they don't, I understand, and this is a big way to kind of go out, part one and part two. This part one really sets up part two big time. You can tell it was planned, it's set up properly, it's well done, and I truly had a really good time with it. And with all of the troubles that you kind of saw that they were going throughout with COVID and things like that, and we'll kind of set the movie back and balloon the budget. Nothing really suffered in terms of story, in terms of visual effects. And that's a testament, I think, to Tom Cruise and his view on what should be in a movie, how a movie should be done before it even gets to theaters, which is only thing he wants. He only wants theaters. So, for him to put this much work into it and demand this much perfection, I got to give him a lot of credit. A few of you here. Let's see what's going on. Derpy's here. He says, first, I'm better than all of you. I don't know how that started, but hey, man, that's awesome. I've been watching Barbie movies all week, so this movie was a welcome change of pace. I don't blame you, James. Yeah, I bet it was. Derpy says, I beat you, James. A lot of crap. And I've only seen the first Mission Impossible up until this point, but now I really want to check out all the others. I truly hope you do. Now, everybody, I do say, don't just go watch this movie. Watch all of them. It does follow. It's Ethan Hunt's story all the way through, beginning to end. And the thing that I really always enjoyed about this franchise, and they do it with, I don't know, they do it with the Fast franchise, and this is where I could take two franchises that are pretty much the same thing in terms of action and just that high octane craziness and stunts. And one's doing it right, one's doing it wrong. Whereas Mission Impossible's doing it right. If they're amplifying anything, it's the stunts, and that's it. They're telling a good story all throughout that fits within the realm of the world they set up in. They're not trying to destroy. And that's the thing I like about it, even with the stunts. Some stuff is suspension of disbelief, but it could fit because the big stunts are done by Tom Cruise himself. I feel like we can accept the fighting on the train or the craziness. But even that, the train sequence at the end, and I'm not gonna give too much, but it's kind of falling off of a bridge, and as it's going, it falls another cart. And the cart breaks off. So they have to race up this cart that's sideways into the next cart, trying, over and over again. I didn't realize that was done practically. That's all a practical effect that they did, on a tank with, different rail cars and stuff like that. So the fact that to learn that, now that dive, that a motorcycle ride off of the mountain, and then he, basically base jumps off of it, with onto the train that he's trying to get to in the movie. That's huge. But to hear that the whole sequence with the train was done practically, that's crazy to me. That's awesome. That's fantastic. I love that. And it adds a different element to it. Because when I watch Fast and the Furious, nothing makes sense. Now, this isn't becoming batch one for the other, because I understand a lot of people, but like, that's true suspension of disbelief. You have to just like completely shut your brain off to any type of physics. And when you watch it, you're like, that can't happen. But when you watch Mission Impossible, that's the comparison I want to make here is, you're like, I believe that can happen. I believe that he could do that, and through all his craziness. Like, I just got Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny, where he's a young man on top of the train having this whole fight sequence, and it's amazing. I thought they did a great job with it. And then you come to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and they amplify it, and it's even better in some way. And, like, done during the day, it has to be even harder. But I'm truly, like, just having a really fun time throughout. I'm never looking at the clock. I never feel like time is dragging on. The only thing I'm wishing for is more characters, fan favorite characters. I would love to see Grant, Jeremy Renner's character come back. I would love to even see Paula Patton's character come back in the fourth one. I do understand why she's not, though. She wasn't part of IMF. But Brant was, and he didn't die. He's not off or anything. So, like, I guess he could come back in the sequel. I hope they bring him back. I think that would be awesome. I love the team that they have all built out. They're doing a fantastic job telling the story, and I really, really cannot wait for part two. I think part two is going to be truly fantastic. And that is why this movie has become the second movie this year to get 5 out of 5 mics from me. I do out of 5, so this is top tier movie for me. This is the perfect action movie. It's got everything you need. The car chases are fantastic. All the characters work within the realm of what you're going for. Like, some of them are tropey, but at the same tropey and cliche, but at the same time they fit and you kind of need them. I love the nefarious Kittredge coming back. He makes sense for where they're going. Hayley Atwell did a great job as being added to this cast and who her character is. Rebecca Ferguson being back was just terrific. There's a lot of closure in a lot of the other movies that we're getting, but there's so much open now and retconning that they did that just works seamlessly, and it all like just fit within what we were getting with Ethan Hunt's storyline, and I just loved it. It looked perfect. The visual effects are perfect. The practical effects are perfect. The stunts are perfect. Everything is just wonderful on this movie, and it was so well done. This is the type of movie. Now, a lot of people might look at this and be like, "This isn't, cinema at its finest," or whatever else. And to me, it is, because this is what a blockbuster, what franchises are supposed to be doing. This is the level of movie they're supposed to be putting out when we're supposed to be going. They're not supposed to be faltering in story. You watch all of these movies, you may pick out ones you're like, I'm not too keen on this one or that one. But overall, they all fit, and that franchise works. And that's why I think Mission Impossible might be, in my opinion, the best franchise. I've been doing a lot of research this week. I saw it last Wednesday. I've been doing a lot of research this week on Mission Impossible and kind of where it's going. But I would say that this is probably the best franchise out. All right, guys. That is my review, though. 5 out of 5. So go check it out in theaters. I definitely think you should. It's worth it. It's one of those just wonderful action films that plays really well. I bet you I want to go see it in IMAX again. And that's the funny thing, too. Like, I have that interior, like, sort of, like, I don't know, not interior, like, but an internal, like, ticker for reviews for movies. Like, if I automatically want to go back and see another one in the theaters, to me, that means it's very good. But, like, if I want to watch it right after, or, like, come home and, like, there's a copy of it, watch it again, blah, blah, blah. Like, it still means it's really good. But to be able to want to go back, pay more money to go to the theater to see this movie, yeah, that means it's really good, in my opinion. And I want to pay more because I want to go see it in IMAX. So it's worth it to me. But let's put up the spoiler banner real quick, just that way we have it up. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. So if you haven't seen it, you can go. We're going to talk a little bit about spoilers here, but we're not going to get too crazy or in depth. Plus, there's nothing really too much in this movie that blows you away, that really just, like, you're like, it was ruined for me. No, it's not really how it works. But let's see what everybody's saying. Diggs, BTW7, what's up, man? How you doing? Let's go back. Derpy says, dude, my brother, this, but it made sense. Beginning to end, everything made sense. I do like that it has it's a simple premise. It's the same thing that the premise of Mrs. Davis had. It was just, let's take out this AI that's all powerful. You know, and like it had handlers and people, like, it's well done, and I like those types of stories. I was sold on the movie the same way I was sold on Top Gun Maverick, with all the behind the scenes featurettes showing the practical effects in the action sequences. It looked insane. Yeah, absolutely. And I would urge you to keep going back. He does huge stunts in each movie, and it hit its stride in 3, because Philip Seymour Hoffman's villain character in that was just fantastic. It was a really well told story. And Brad Bird had directed that one. But then after that, that's when Tom Cruise really took over, and he was like, all right, I know what I want to tell. I don't want to have a De Palma, then a John Woo, and then a Brad Bird movie. I want to have this be a thing, and I think it worked. I think that change sort of worked. It sort of came around the same time that Fast 5 came out, when The Rock was in it. It sort of changed the trajectory of Fast X. And the only reason I'm comparing these two is because they both have a deep amount of movies, and they're all keep the same characters. It's very similar in tone. But where I think it really worked for Mission Impossible, because there was still like a Kevin Feige type at the helm who says and does wherever it goes, and that's Tom Cruise. And as a producer, he steps up and he does that, and I think you need that. And I think that's why we see Fast X going crazy, because you got a really good producer to keep everyone happy, keep everyone coming back, keep the story going and flowing. I think that would work well. It exceeds everything of my expectations. Yeah, Derpy, I'm with you, man. Whatever drugs Tom Cruise is on, I need them. I want to be able to do half the stuff he's doing this movie at 60. I know. Crazy, man. And those trailers didn't show anything. Yeah. They actually blew up the bridge in Poland and left the country and dipped in with rebuilding it. Did they? I'm going to look that up. That's crazy if they did. I can't see Tom Cruise doing that, though, without rebuilding it. The story and threat of MI7 is becoming more real and terrifying every day. True. Indeed, James. See, you guys agree. Cruise and Atwell had better chemistry than Ford and Waller-Bridge. Yes, yeah. But I think you're always going to have better chemistry when there's a love element to it. And now I'm not saying that those two, but there's definitely like an attraction. Cruise and Hayley Atwell, they played it well. Like, they played that attraction type well. And Ford and Waller-Bridge, just that's not who they were. They were a different dynamic. So I think you automatically are going to have points against you chemistry-wise if it isn't a love sort of story. Like, if they were father and daughter, I think that if that chemistry might work, but it's tough, because when you have like a goddaughter coming back into his life, that's just tough. I wish Palm Clementif didn't die. She was honestly my favorite part. She was fantastic in this movie. She did such a great job. She alone is worth going to check this out. And I love her build-up all the way throughout. I wish she didn't die either, because I think her character being added to it was just really well done. I would have loved to have seen where they took her. But yeah, I would love to see more from her, because she is so damn good, and I don't think we give her enough credit. And if you want to see how much fun she is, go check out her fantasy football. Her and a bunch of celebrities from Marvel have a fantasy football league, and she won. And she did a video crap talking them, and it's so much fun. But yeah, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, I say go see it. I talked about it, go see it in theaters. I think this is one to actually go check out and be a part of and witness. I know right now when it comes to the actor and the writer strike, but this is already a movie that's out. those aren't the ones they're asking you to stay away from. They're asking for new projects that are supposed to be coming out. So anything that gets created afterwards, a movie is like while they're on strike, if they finish a movie, that's done by SCADs. They're hoping that you wouldn't go and support that. But regardless, here nor there, feel like you can go out and see it. Even if you don't care about that, go out and see it. I do think this is worth checking out, and definitely in theaters. So I'm Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs. I want to say thank you guys for joining in today. And if you guys are watching this at a later time, thank you for that as well. And this one is brought to you by Entertainment Earth. If you guys don't know Entertainment Earth, they're absolutely fantastic for everybody who loves collectibles, figures, things like that. I get a lot of my Funko Pops there and other stuff, Star Trek stuff there. I absolutely love it. We have an affiliate link down below. Go click on it. It gets 10% off automatically. And if you spend, I think it's $59 or above, you get free shipping and another 10% off. So thank you guys for doing that. We also have links for other stuff. I do Noom, Skillshare. We have BarkBox, the whole nine. So if you guys want more links, let me know, and I'm happy to take care of you. So that's it for me, guys. That's my review. Thank you guys for checking it out. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Go check out the rest of the Scene Snobs. Make sure to hit like and subscribe because we have great videos coming out and more all the time. You can check out our podcasts. We have tons of those. And Patreon, we actually have a lot of shows coming out. So, and they're going to be Patreon exclusive. So please go check that out. Again, I'm Mick Manhattan. Let me know what you think about this movie in the comments, or you can join up on our Discord and talk about it there. But until next time, stay groovy, stay awesome, just be you. I love you. Take care. Good night.